All right, so we're back. Okay, so now we're going to make his feet. Okay, so we're going to go over here. We're going to go scroll all the way down, and you're going to see the extras tab. It might be folded up, so just click the arrow, and then scroll down, and we're going to take the egg. Okay, now the egg shape, we're gonna basically cut it in half and make a copy, and then we're going to squash this in, pull this out, and then combine it. So here we go. So first thing, we're gonna rotate. So you see this little arrow here? This allows us to rotate along one axis. So when you have the mouse over, you see there's three dials. There's this inside dial, then there's this dial, and then there's this far out dial. We want the inside dial because it snaps 40, I think 22.5 degrees. So, oops. So click, yes, and we're going to go to 90 degrees. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to take one of these box holes, okay, drag this out, and what we want to do is we're going to enlarge it so it covers half the egg. So you can make these bigger by selecting these little dots. You select one of these and you pull, and you can make the box actually bigger. So we're going to select this box. I'm going to stretch it out, come around. I'm going to do the same here, and here, and now we're going to take this arrow right here, and this allows us to lift this up or down. So right now we want to go to about half, right there. Now it's sticking out a little here, so we go to this point here. Okay, and we just pull that down, and that covers over that. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to duplicate this egg. Going to go to Edit, Duplicate. Okay, then we're going to select this box, and we're going to do the same thing. Edit, Duplicate, and then we're going to lift that up, and we want to place that right on top of it. We don't want any overlap, so you want it so it's right on top of each other. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to move this box over. So you can do that. You can use the arrow keys on your keyboard. So if you're facing your object, you can use the left arrow key or the right arrow key. Left arrow key moves it left, right arrow key moves it right. So we're going to use the left arrow key, slide this over. I'm going to select the egg, and we're going to hold the shift button down on your keyboard, and we're going to select by clicking on this box. Okay, and we go up to group. When we group it, it's going to, this box, this clear box is a negative shape. And when we group it, it'll actually cut away the bottom part of the egg. Okay, so group. Now, it's hard to see because we have the other egg there, which we'll be cutting away in a second, but you can see as it's selected, the light blue outline shows that we have half an egg now. So now we want to do the same with this one. I'm going to use the right arrow key. I'm going to slide this over to cover over the top half. And then we're going to shift select the full egg and do the same thing. Go group. So now we have two pieces. Okay, here I'll show you. Lift that up. See, two different pieces. So I'll hit undo. There we go. All right. So now we're going to select the bottom one, All right, and now we want to squash that down. So we can do that. We want to get this little dot. Now in order to get that dot, you need to rotate down so you're looking at the bottom. When you do that, this dot appears and this arrow translation tool appears. Now if you rotate above it, it moves to the top. So it's sensitive to what angle you're looking at. Okay, so we want to squash this up. So we're going to take this and slide this up like that. Okay, and that helps flatten out his foot. You can see that if we go to our Google search. See how it's kind of egg-shaped, but it's flat at the bottom, but rounder on the top. So that's the shape that we're trying to get. Okay, so I go back, and then we're going to select these all together. All right, first we're going to change their color. I'm going to change it down to this dark purple, like his foot, and then we're going to group. Now when you group two solid objects together, they don't cut away, they join together to create a new object. And that's what we want to do. We want his feet to be one thing. So we group it, and now he's one object. Okay. So when we look at these images, his feet look a little more narrow and a little pointier at the front. So we're going to do that next. So we're going to move the feet in. So in order to narrow it, we can select this dot, and let's just move it in 3 millimeters. And let's select this in the front and pull this out a little bit, and that point makes it pointier. And then let's try moving this in another 3 to 39. There. That looks pretty close to his foot. Okay, so now let's move it into place. So let's move it down onto the grid. It's a little too low. Just get it right there. Okay, and then let's move it over. So I'm going to use the right arrow key and slide this over. And so now I'll move over here, and I'm going to move using the left arrow key to move it to the left of the screen. Okay. Now let's see how that looks. Alright, so they seem to always have him pose with his feet pointing out. So let's first make a copy. Edit, duplicate. Let's move it over. Let's try to get it roughly the same. Okay, looks about the same, and then let's rotate it so his feet are pointing out. So I'm going to move it over like that. Do the same with this one, 22.5 using the inner dial. There. Now let's take a look at our. So he's a little body's a little higher up, so we'll just move that up. Okay. So now we have his feet. So in the next lesson, we'll put his arms in. See you then. Thanks for watching. And if you like what you see and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe.